Supreme Court has barred the St. James Municipal Corporation from removing political billboards mounted by the PNP's three of the PNP's candidates in the parish, consequent on court filing led by Dr. Andre Haughton, the PNP's man in West Central St. James, himself in concert with Senator Janice Allen and Alan Bernard, say that the mayor of St. James acted ultra vires when he ordered the removal of their billboards and then formalized the action in a motion passed by the corporation. The court saying, not so fast, Mr. Mayor. Do not move any more billboards until such time as the matter is further ventilated in court. It's a victory for the PNP, and I'm talking with one of the chief architects behind this move by the opposition party this evening on Lead Story. Let's start the show. Good evening, welcome to Lead Story here on CVM TV on this Monday. My name is George Davis. So the St. James Municipal Corporation on one side, three of the PNP's candidates in St. James on the other side. And today, a ruling handed down by the Supreme Court. What does the ruling say and what is it in relation to? We have those answers for you in this nugget.
A sigh of relief for three PNP St. James caretakers, Dr. Andre Haughton, Senator Janice Allen and Alan Bernard, following the decisive court ruling on the removal of campaign materials.
Leave our posters alone. I'm so happy for the victory. A victory for me is a victory for the people of Montego Bay. And it says a lot. It says a lot. We need leaders who understand the law, and we need leaders who are not trivial. We need serious leaders.
In a statement by the party, it lauded the court's decision. The case was triggered by the corporation's move under the leadership of the JLP's mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Richard Vernon, to take down multiple PNP campaign posters on April 5, 2025. This action was later formalized through a motion at the corporation's Finance Committee meeting on April 9, 2025, which purported to authorize the removal of PNP campaign material across the parish. Their lawyer equally excited for the latest developments that they are now calling a big win.
The court, point blank, agreed with us. The court agreed with us that damages are not adequate and that the respondent ought to be restrained until the determination of this matter. So what the court has done, the court has granted the injunctions to prevent the respondent from dealing in, removing or interfering the political paraphernalia or posters of the applicants. Most certainly a victory. The respondent fought valiantly to prevent the injunction. They opposed the injunction. But I believe it was necessary to protect the political entitlements and constitutional rights of the applicants, especially with general election being pending.
He explains the crux of the corporation's case hinged on a 1978 regulation regarding the removal of campaign materials, just around 15 posters among the three caretakers.
Given that an election is not yet pending as per regulation 13(1)A, that if it is that the applicants are to erect these posters, they will require the permission of the municipal corporation. It is important to note that this regulation makes it a situation of deemed consent, whereby they won't need express consent once it is that an election is pending. Their argument is that an election is not yet pending because an election has not been called. And I believe that that is where they went into error.
He adds that while the judicial review is pending, he is confident of victory. Meanwhile, attorney representing the St. James Municipal Corporation, Cydia Smith, told CVM News they intend to appeal the decision.
All right, so strike up one more for the PNP in terms of its court battle against a decision taken by this Holiness administration. Well, this one at the local level. Back with more on Lead Story, Dr. Andre Haughton, after this break.
The Reggae Boys are on the road to the 2026 World Cup. On Tuesday, June 10 at 6 p.m., we converge on the National Stadium as Jamaica battles Guatemala in World Cup qualifiers. Let's bring the noise for the boys and fill up the office. Admission, bleachers, $1,500. Grandstand, $5,500. VIP, $10,000. Get your tickets now at jff.corporate.com or visit the JFF on Instagram. June 10, come make noise for the boys. And it's brought to you by Ray Nephew, Stuart Auto, St. Mary's Snacks, Just Bet, Powerade, True Shake, and Water.
Come rise with sunrise. Our first stop is the kitchen and breakfast is served. Then it's all things educational in Fully Bright. We'll launch over to hang with the Mega Bounce team and the fun stays alive with Sunrise Freshers. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV. There's a political campaign well and truly on as both major political parties gear up for the Battle for Jamaica House, which of course will be fought whenever the Prime Minister says, let's go to the polls. Before that, though, the messaging to the people has been continuing in earnest. And one of the way, of course, to transmit messages is by billboard advertisement, billboard promotion. That's what 3 PNP caretakers in St. James were attempting to do earlier this year. But on April 5, they got news that their billboards were being removed right across the city by the St. James Municipal Corporation on order from the mayor's office. They said that the mayor had no such power, and they asked their attorney, they instructed their attorney to go to the court to seek the necessary actions to prevent this from happening. And as we said today, that instruction culminated in this decision that a judicial review will follow. But before that, the actions of the St. James Municipal Corporation must cease. Dr. Andre Haughton is one of the 3 PNP prospective candidates. You're a candidate after nomination day. He's well said to be that, but when nomination comes after that, we can call him candidate, but he is the PNP's man in West Central St. James, and he joins me in studio. Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, George. Good afternoon to your listeners as well. How are you?
I am very, very good.
Good to see you.
Your reaction to today's ruling?
It's a victory for the people. From the onset, we told the mayor, listen, what you're doing, you're ill-advised, and what you're doing is illegal and wrong. It's malicious in your intentions, and just leave our posters alone. Their posters have been there since the last election. They took down ours from the last election. We had no problem with their posters up there, but as soon as we got news that we could put up the posters, and we did, they decided to tear them down. And why not? I look so good on them. Why not?
You know, people may be wondering if there was a trigger for the decision by the mayor, insofar as if you put them in areas that you weren't designated for posters or billboards. What? Was there anything that you would have done?
No, the trigger was that I was looking so good on the posters, them driving by them and seeing them every day. It tore up them inside, tore up their hearts. So they decided to use their municipal power illegitimately. Mm-hmm.
Your attorney's instructions were to get what done? So the substance of the court's decision today, was that what you intended to have happen?
Yes, we knew from the onset that the JLP was going to lose this case. Mm-hmm. I mean, their lawyers are not really very relevant and are ill-informed, so they don't understand the law very well. And we told them, hey, listen, let's settle this out of court. They were very arrogant in their response to us, as well as they tried to accuse us of being wrong when they were wrong. So it was a lot of deflection on their behalf, so we had to take it to the Supreme Court. And the court has ruled today that they need to stop, and they must know when they see our posters, leave them alone.
Yeah, you made a point I want to jump on there, because I wanted to ask that as well. When it is that you got news that your posters were being torn down, Did you reach out to the mayor's office to see if you could work out something, to find out, well,
we had several meetings with them. I called the mayor himself. It's somebody that I know like you. And I said, what are you guys doing? Why are you taking down my posters? Oh, this, that, whatever the case may be. But it's just jealousy.
So court wasn't the first move. You exhausted the other channels.
And that is why the court has been sympathetic to us, because they have recognized that we follow the full course of the law. We were lenient, we were very understanding, and we tried our best to reason the situation first. My lawyer put together a case file with about 20, 30 odd pages, you know?
Bad blood in the parish, or in the sections of the parish. So Janice Allen is in Central St. James. She's looking to go there. Alan Bernard, my good friend, he's in Northwest St. James, and you're West Central. So I'm just saying, is there, by virtue of this standoff then, since you gave notice that you'd be going to court, and now the court has delivered its verdict today, its initial ruling, because there's more to come, has this stirred up any bad blood between both sets of supporters or the leadership within St. James where the politics is concerned? You
know, we've always played friendly politics with the Jamaica Labour Party. Them on the other hand, I don't know. Since we've been there campaigning, I mean, their supporters have thrown stones in my car. They have cut out my name out my posters. The ones that they didn't cut out the name, they are taking down. So they are very trivial in their approach to leadership. And we're saying, listen, the city has many issues, right? The place is dirty, it's rat infested in many areas. It does not represent the modern tourism capital that one would want to visit and pay money to visit. And that's the reason Jamaica can't attract any luxury tourists, because we don't present ourselves as people who are, you know, well brought up people who want to see people, visitors of class and stature. And that is why the city is stuck where it is now, and that is why we are here with better leadership, and I think that's why they are jealous.
So you're saying that even before the issue of your billboards being removed and those of Senator Allen and Alan Bernard, you were the victim of vandalism in the city?
Yeah, man. There's supporters in Catchinall threw stones in my campaign vehicle, and they cut out my name out of my flyers at Long Hill and at Bogue and so on and so forth. I mean, this is how their supporters go to politics. I have a problem with it, but I know that's how they are, so I just work around it.
And have you taken the step of reporting to the municipal corporation that billboards that you would have paid to be mounted were vandalized?
Listen, you see, politics, it's a very demanding job. So I don't look back, I look forward. So many times I see these things as them trying to be trivial and trying to distract me from the real work of the people. So whenever they do trivial stuff, I just, labor right, and gone about my business. I mean, the people now are deficient of many things. Young people in Montego Bay, they lack real opportunities for them to make legitimate income. They lack real community intervention programs to give them that trampoline to boost them to create wealth. All that is being fed in their ears is minimum wage, going to work for minimum wage, going to work for around minimum wage. When history would show that the young people in Montego Bay are more ambitious than that. And if you do not provide it for them legitimately, they will find other sources to get it. So as economists and as economic managers, it's our job as leaders to create a sort of incubator for them where they can harness their full potential and become their best selves. And that is the sort of leadership that we are here to provide for the people in Montego Bay and by extension Jamaica.
I know that, listen, people are made of flesh and blood. And your supporters who would have heard about the stone attack on your campaign vehicle, you say, the vandalism of your printed material, they would say to you, say, boy, or maybe even say amongst themselves that, listen, we need to do tit for tat. We need to
no, man.
So I'm asking about that.
Listen, and it's a trivial leadership. For Montego Bay is a thing of the past when we get into power. We're about serious leadership. We're about addressing the issues, the water challenges that communities face, even though the Great River is right there. And the St. James Aquifer, Queen Elizabeth is right there in Trelawny, like on the border of St. James and Trelawny. Water distribution is a problem. Road network is a problem. Internet connectivity is a problem. Community centers is a problem. Playing field is a problem, court is a problem, and legitimate income earning opportunities is a problem. We are about solving those issues. We don't pay attention to what the opponent is trying to force on us to pay attention
I appreciate you wanted to talk about the positives. In fact, I was going to just deal with this and then deal with those things after the break. You've gone there and you're the man lining up a political office. I'm not going to stop you. But here's the thing. Last one before we go to this break. Have you made it clear to your supporters to say, listen, don't watch what the other side has done or what they've tried to use their important offices to do. Keep calm and campaign the right way. Is that message clear to supporters of Dr. Andre Haughton?
It's 100% clear to my supporters.
100% clear. After the break, we asked Dr. Haughton about West Central St. James and why he believes the time is now for him to sit in Gordon House as MP for that constituency. More on Lead Story after these.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Jamaica, the Reggae Boys are on the road to the 2026 World Cup. On Tuesday, June 10 at 6 p.m., we converge on the National Stadium as Jamaica battles Guatemala in World Cup qualifiers. Let's bring the noise for the boys and fill up the office. Admission bleachers $1,500, grandstand $5,500, VIP $10,000. Get your tickets now at jff.corporate.com or visit the JFF on Instagram. June 10, come make noise for the boys. And it's Goatee Bar, Ray Neville, Stuart Auto, St. Mary's Snacks, Just Bet, Powerade, True Shake, and Water.
So 3 PNP candidates in St. James getting the court ruling initially that they wanted. They want the way clear for their billboards to be able to be mounted across the city once again. The court has said yes and has prohibited the JLP-run municipal corporation, JLP-led municipal corporation from acting in any way to prevent or interfere with this advertisement of political bona fides by 3 PNP caretakers, candidates in waiting. Dr. Andre Haughton, he's the man running against Marlene Malahoo Ford, set to run against Marlene Malahoo Ford in West Central St. James. That was the matchup on the ballot last year at 2020, the September 2020 elections. Malahoo Ford won by over 1,000 votes. So I asked Dr. Haughton, no, can you overturn that?
Yeah, man, quite easily too. Quite easily. We have been putting in the work since then, and the people have recognized how deceitful they are, how uncaring this government is, and they really want change.
When you say deceit and uncaring, how do you then, what have you been saying to the prospective voters to make them believe that you won't be of a similar kind?
No, I don't have to say anything to them to convince them. They have recognized the work that I've been putting in the various communities since I've been there, even though I'm in opposition. I mean, the challenges that they face across the length and breadth of these communities, we have been doing our best to rectify them, and where we can't, we have been really doing the research to see how to rectify them in the shortest order with the smallest budget. And I think this demonstrates to them that we're serious about leadership. So it's not just about lip service, it's about doing the research about what is necessary to move these communities forward. Since I've been there, I've embarked on what we call Make Jamaica Safe program. It is an acronym, the SAFE, for Sports, Arts and Artistry, Financial Literacy and Financial Understanding, as well as Economics and Enterprise. And this has been very impactful. One, bringing communities together, bringing different rival fractions together, and really bringing peace and civility and an understanding of what it takes for communities to really improve and evolve.
You were very confident heading into the last election we had. It didn't happen. As we said, you fell several hundred short, over 1,000 short. You're a confident man. You're never not a confident man. So what is it that should convince, not even an outsider, because those are not important, the people in the constituency that Dr. Haughton has the goods this time to do what he couldn't do 5 years ago?
It's not a matter of fact of couldn't do 5 years ago. You know. 5 years ago, there are a lot of factors that doesn't have to do with me that were playing against me. So even though you're confident about getting the victory, there are a lot of headwinds, COVID-19, the elderly coming out to vote, our base being the elderly at the time, and so on and so forth. Since then, we've targeted different demographics of people, both male, female, young and old. And we've also been doing the groundwork where people really recognize that, hey, listen, this young man really comes with a fresh mind and new ideas. And look, he's installing solar-powered installations in the community center in Mount Salem so that we don't have to pay in electricity. Look, he's lighting up the Granville field. Look, he's building a brand new court up there in Gutters. Look, this young man is not about talk. He's not about form. He is about substance. And this is the substance that we have been bringing to them. So you can come and you can talk pretty and you can look pretty. You can say, oh, God has given me the opportunity to lead and God is blessing me or whatever. But if you do not put out the work on the ground, if you do not demonstrate that you're indeed the leader that the people deserves, if after 10 years people are still without water, a simple thing as buying a pump for a tank for people to get water, oh, it's taking a process, 10 years. There are many people without land titles who need their land title is a piece of paper. All it takes is a signature. She needs to send in the documentation for the people to get their title. She hasn't done it in 10 years. So there are so many deficiencies. I didn't even have to campaign because she is campaigning for me.
You mentioned land titling. I want it to be as express in your answer as you are about land titling. When you talk to constituents, Dr. Haughton, what do they identify as the three biggest problems they have with the incumbent, apart from land titling? So give me two more.
The problem is not with the incumbent per se.
No, man, not the incumbent as a person. No, man. But in terms of what she's been able to do.
She has not done.
Thank you. So what are those things?
So, number one, she hasn't focused on really creating any opportunities for young people and really improving the community center spaces and inviting any sort of real work to be done where young people can get employment and empower themselves.
That's one.
Number two, there are so many roles within different communities. I talk about communities like Moy Hall, who are predominantly the JLP community, but they have been feeling the brunt of the JLP wickedness. And these communities, you talk about Shalom Valley in Guava Walk, these communities really deserve better. And three, there are so many communities without water. So we're talking about really simple things here, human rights, needs, road, water, and opportunity. And that is the game changer that Dr. Haughton is coming with.
Yeah.
To give them these opportunities.
You said last year, among the factors working against you, the specter of COVID-19 and how that spooked the elderly to stay inside. You said because of that, you have now ensured that you've tried to build up support. Well, you've tried to build support. You won't know until election day. Try to build support across the demographics. The younger people, the people voting for the first time or with the ability to vote for the first time, what have you been saying to them that you as MP can do that hasn't been done for youth like them before?
They have recognized that I, one, care about their future. So the kind words of encouragement, the support for them to remember that education and technology is now coming into the future and what they need to do to employ themselves, the innovative avenues that we have been bringing to them for them to garner income outside of the usual stream, the futsal competitions, even though yourself and my opponent tried to trivialize those competitions.
Myself?
Yeah, the last time when she was here.
I was the host. I put the question, she answered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trying to trivialize something as novel as bringing real futsal to West Central St. James is really showing lack of understanding of what true leadership is about. Because The futsal that we play is not the regular scrimmage that is stuck in Jamaica. It's a globally accepted game. And as a man who play football and commentate football yourself, George, you would understand and agree that many young boys play football in Jamaica and cannot make the national team and cannot get purchased abroad to earn an income. But what futsal does is that it narrows the playing field, both literally, figuratively, and physically, and gives them the opportunity now to display their skill in a fashion that they can now go to Spain and earn an income, in a fashion that they can go to Germany, to England, to Brazil even, and earn an income to take care of their families, let alone talk about the economics that surround the event now. So we have a big stadium set up with lights. We have the electrician who does that. We have the uniforms that are purchased to play. We have the people selling. We have the young people enjoying themselves and bringing out the family and so on. So the Safe Jamaica program, and you can go and check it out, safejamaica.com, asafejamaica.com, is really geared towards giving young people the alternative road towards success. Listen, crime is on the down, and we must give the police their commendation for that.
Not the government.
No, the government is about state of emergency. If it was not for the bravery of the police to pivot the strategy on their own, then we wouldn't have been seeing this reduction in crime in the first place. So it's not the government, it is the police. And we must say kudos to them right there. And it shows, it shows. We've been doing financial literacy classes, teach them about budgeting and how to spend their money, how to make wise economic decisions. These are golden for inner city communities. If I were them, I'll grasp this with both hands. And this is the modern leadership that we're coming with. And this is why the young people are eager to go there and vote for Dr. Andre Haughton.
Haughton 2020, Haughton 2025. Different Haughton or same Haughton with better tools at his disposal?
I'm always the same, but to be honest, I've gotten more mature in the political battlefield. Being an academic and a person who believes in efficiency and a person who is very tailored to and goal-oriented. When I joined the politics, it was a learning curve for me.